If so, well, that's good because that's the point of oversight.
But he says it's not what he was told prior to the visit.
We've heard a lot of complaints from lawyers who've spoken to the detainees. The representations that the government makes about access to legal calls and medical care is not what they say it is.
ICE is currently holding 191 detainees at the MDC. That's about a fifth of the prison's capacity. First, he put his name on the Kennedy Center. Now, a giant photo banner of Donald Trump is outside the DOJ.
There are others, but this one is jarring. On the Justice Department headquarters, it amounts to a striking symbol of how the department's traditional independence from White House control has eroded, and a physical show of the president exerting power over the department that once investigated him. The banner's display comes 8 days after Attorney General Pam Bondi launched into a full-throated defense of the president before a House panel.
You sit here and you attack the president, and I am not going to have it. I'm not going to put up with it.
Sagar Meghani, Washington.
Former FBI Director James Comey took to social media to call the banner sickening. He also wrote that, quote, the administration forgot to cover the inscription on the side of the building that reads, "Where law ends, tyranny begins." Now Bloomberg Money Watch. Here's John Tucker.
And Susan, the next opportunity for the Supreme Court to rule on the legality of most of Donald Trump's second-term trade policy, that comes today, 10 o'clock this morning. What I'm watching, the president's reliance on the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, IEPA, for his sweeping tariffs was seen as legally dubious from the start. Stocks right now struggling for direction as traders assess the potential impact of the possible conflict in the Middle East. We have right now Dow futures down 73. The NASDAQ 40 points lower. I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Watch. Money Watch on 1010 wins at 92.3 FM.
See what sets Mazda apart in the Mazda CX-5. The smart choice for those who expect more from their drive. With standard iActive all-wheel drive and advanced safety features, the CX-5 gives you confidence in every condition. Its effortless handling and responsive performance set it apart from the crowd. Inside, you'll find thoughtful, crafted design for comfort and connection. There's more to a Mazda. Lease the 2025 Mazda CX-5 for $209 a month. Visit your local Mazda dealer or MazdaUSA.com.
Let me tell you about Bob, a building manager for a budding business. Bob's boss asked Bob to help the business save big bucks. So he called Beth at PSE&G and bounced around ideas on all their business programs. Bob bought a new boiler with big incentives and on-bill repayment and used his savings to benefit his business. Visit pseg.com/radio to see how your business can be made even better.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from
We can be twinsies
to
power shopping. Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At McDonald's, get a Filet-O-Fish or 10-piece McNuggets, get any two for just $7, and pair them with an icy cold Sprite.
Have you ever wondered why there is so much cancer on Long Island? Did you know that the DuPont Chemical Corporation and 3M recently agreed to a $13.5 billion settlement for contaminating public drinking water with cancer-causing forever chemicals? Long Island's drinking water has some of the highest concentrations of these cancer-causing forever chemicals. If you live on Long Island and have been diagnosed with kidney cancer, testicular cancer, liver cancer, thyroid cancer, or ulcerative colitis, you may have a claim. Call the lawyers at Krenzel, Guzman, Herbert. The KG Law Team is on your side. You can trust KG Law Team to diligently work toward restoring you and your family's well-being. There are serious time constraints, so call the KG Law Team for a free consultation at 212-227-2900. That's 212-227-2900. Or visit their website at kglawteam.com. That's kglawteam.com.
Now this message, Riverside Memorial Chapel, for generations, a symbol of Jewish tradition and uncompromising quality. 35 degrees, lightly raining in Central Park, the humidity 84%, winds are east-northeast at 6. Later today, rain, drizzle, and 40 degrees.
And a very good Friday morning. I'm Scott Stanford. Mayor Mamdani taking some heat after rejecting former Mayor Eric Adams' plan to hire 5,000 new officers at the NYPD. The PBA is calling this a serious mistake.
So when it comes to the city budget deficit, earlier this week, the mayor made it pretty clear.
This is a budget that will look for savings in every single agency across our city government, because it is a crisis that faces every single agency in our city government.
The PBA president, Pat Henry, telling 1010 Wins the mayor really needs to think this through, and that the NYPD can't be a part of these cuts.
The NYPD hasn't met the headcount of 35,000 in the last 5 years. And the biggest issue right now is attrition. We're losing still 250 to 300 police officers a month.
And Henry tells us the headcount, in fact, as of today, around 34,000. He calls that a huge problem. Glenn Schuck, 1010 Wins, 92.3 FM.
Wins News Time 7:31. Finally made it to Friday, a rainy Friday. How we looking on the roads, Karen Stewart?
Yeah, and it's a wintry mix in Westchester and Rockland, so you need to be extra cautious. Leave yourself some extra travel time this morning, please. In Brooklyn, we've got the biggest story here, the eastbound BQE at the Brooklyn Bridge. We've got an accident. It blocks a lane. We are absolutely packed from back at 39th Street. Queens, southbound Van Wicked exit 2 for Rockaway Boulevard. There's a crash in the right lane there. Bronx, eastbound Cross Bronx, very slow to Jerome Avenue at exit 2A. We got a disabled car out there in the right. And the northbound Bruckner's Jam to Pelham Parkway at 8B. We have an accident there, and it blocks at least one lane. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels: 30 Holland, 20 Lincoln, 10 to 15 at the GW Bridge. Amtrak Portal Bridge replacement is underway. Limited service to and from Penn Station on the Northeast Corridor and North Jersey coastlines. And all weekday Midtown direct service and depend on the Marston, Essex, Gladstone, and Montclair Booten lines will all be diverted to Hoboken. This project goes until mid-March. Traffic is sponsored by Chef IQ Sense. Buy one today at chefiq.com. Karen Stewart, 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
Take the guesswork out of cooking, folks. The Chef IQ Sense is a must-have wireless cooking thermometer that eliminates under or overcooking chicken, fish, or steak. Order the newly released third-generation Chef IQ Sense at chefiq.com. That's chefiq.com.
Let's get a check of an AccuWeather forecast. Meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Joe, it's not going to be that bad Sunday night, is it?
Doesn't look it at this point in time, and it's predicated on the storm track that we have projected right now, south and east of the area, and really south and east of Cape Cod by a fair margin. But if that were to change, then things could change in terms of how much snow we might get from it. Ahead of it, first things first, we've got rain on the docket for today. It's a good soaking rain right now that's moving in from the west. There are some ice pellets and snowflakes in the high ground or north and northwest, and a few places where the temperatures are around freezing. So a couple of hours where there could be some slippery travel because of that, but for most it's going to be rain. Our high gets to 40. It ends this evening. Clouds persist overnight, our low 35. Some breaks of sun finally show up tomorrow. Not long-lived, but we'll take them. The high 47. That storm system develops off the Virginia Cape Sunday, brings us some snow at times into Sunday night. Again, most likely accumulation in the 1 to 3 inch range, the high 36. Minded, windy and cold Monday, the high 37. Raining at 35 in Central Park, humidity 85%, the wind northeast at 12. Repeating current temperature 35, headed to 40 in Midtown. I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg on New York's weather station, 1010 Wins and 92.3 FM.
I thank you, Joe. The family of Virginia Giuffre says the arrest of the former Prince Andrew in the UK brings really a sense of vindication, but they're calling the lack of action here in the United States shameful. Andrew taken into custody yesterday on suspicion of misconduct in public office. all in connection to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Giuffre's brother, Sky Roberts, when he heard about the arrest, says it was an emotional rush of adrenaline and relief.
You can dig through file after file, testimony, deposition after deposition of Virginia's, and you can see how much she was telling the truth. And at this point, I think we have a feeling of vindication.
Giuffre's official cause of death ruled a suicide at the age of 41 last year. She had accused the former prince of assaulting her 3 different times back when she was 17. Andrew denied the allegations but paid her $16 million. Ms. Giuffre's sister-in-law, Amanda Roberts, said she has zero confidence in our Justice Department to carry out proper investigations into those implicated in the files. Minnesota health officials say the state is now the epicenter of the nation's largest known outbreak of TM7, a sexually transmitted fungal infection that can cause severe ringworm. The infection is the only known fungal-based STD. It's treatable with oral antifungal medication. Health officials now report more than 30 confirmed or suspected cases in the Twin Cities area, with scattered cases in other major cities. You know, as a kid, sleepovers, they were pretty awesome, right? You stay up late, sneak some R-rated movies on HBO, some frozen pizzas, well, mostly unsupervised. You know, it was something many kids look forward to. But as an adult, is it possible to have platonic sleepovers? Well, one TikToker named Eric thinks so, and it sparked some heated debate.
Everyone started getting into relationships, and they stopped having sleepers with their friends. It's a huge mistake. We should have never stopped having sleepers with our friends. I think that's how we create intimacy with our friends. I think that's how we create closeness with our friends. And figure ourselves with, like, community is having just like a slumber party with your friends. Why would you ever want to stop that?
Eric, who has a boyfriend, was mainly referring to sleepovers with his female friends. Others chimed in to say it blurs lines and boundary issues, noting male and female friends sleeping in the same bed could be a red flag. Oh boy, the Foo Fighters have a new album on the way, and it is rocking. The title track is up on their site. We'll play a little bit more.